We're going live. We're live.
All right.
I'll turn it around in a second.
Okay, cool. Everyone ready? All right. So welcome everyone to our member meeting. Okay, hello. So welcome everyone. So first order of business, upcoming events. We have a lot of upcoming events between now and through the summer. Everything's going to happen very quickly in April and May. We of course have, if anyone wants to talk about an event that I don't mention, just real quickly, we have the Node School on Thursday, this Thursday, Biotech Work Group. Security Night is next Thursday. Linux classes, Security Night is next Tuesday. Linux classes next Thursday. Raspberry Pi Jam, 2 Saturdays from now. And we've got a lot of stuff going on as well. There's also the Arduino, what is that, this 2 weekends from now? Or 2 Thursdays?
Yeah, so it's the Thursday after the open house.
Yeah, Thursday after open house. So like an Arduino kind of workshop, meetup kind of thing. And then going further, I know we've got the biotech guys are coming in the summer to do a little hackathon here. Codecraft, I think that's still in progress. That may or may not happen. Google I/O, Week of Making, and that's all in like the next 2-3 months. So we've got a lot of stuff coming up. If there's something I failed to mention, please let me know and speak up. No one's aware. Lots of stuff. Okay.
Thanks, Fair.
Thanks, Fair. That's coming up sooner than we want it to be. Cool. Going through the list here. So we do have a bunch of new people to intro tonight. 5. Wow.
Yay.
Another 5 night, which is awesome. So we had 5 intro last month, and we have 5 this month. So we'll start here. Nicole McGuire. You can stand up in the middle of the room and introduce yourself. Tell us who you are.
Make sure to harass you really well. Wow.
And yeah. Just tell us about yourself, and then we'll ask you some questions.
Hi, I'm Nicole McGuire. I'm a Jamie's intern at NASA, and I come here and blow up rockets on the weekend. Yeah, cool.
What do you want to make here?
Bigger rockets. We're working on a second stage for a rocket, and then we're going to start using solid for backup and down sugar. Yeah, the goal is not to burn down the lab.
It's a good goal.
It's a good goal. No, you can't.
It's not over yet.
You're not done yet.
It's not done yet.
So what's your background?
I'm software engineering. So I've been coding for about 4 years now. And so got the internship, I moved to Florida, and I've been all that.
Cool.
Where are you from? What are you engineering?
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Trek.
Okay. What's yours?
Okay, Jamie told me to answer.
Busted.
You're not reading answers.
No,
Take
no.
it over.
I haven't seen either.
Oh,
I don't like to watch a lot of TV or like movies.
Favorite fantasy novel series?
Oh, Harry Potter. I have a Harry Potter tattoos.
Okay. All right.
Okay. We'll let the whole Star Wars
Sorry,
thing
guys.
slide. Harry Potter tattoo qualifies as commitment.
Solid rocket
That'll work.
liquid and lime.
Currently, we're using hydrogen gas, but we want to move to solid because we could do more stuff with it. So a few other interns come out with Gene.
I wouldn't lean on that.
Yeah, it's held in by like glue and
Screws.
yeah.
Sorry, we have a weekend.
Other questions for Nicole?
What do you think about interns labor cleaning the lab?
I believe that was interns as slave labor cleaning the lab.
Oh yeah.
We'll make
All in favor?
That was
we'll
easy.
make Orly come and do it. Orly's another intern, so we can bring that.
Good answer.
Yeah, okay. Make someone else do it.
Other questions for Nicole? Okay, last question, and no one revealed the answer, please. Do you know any good sites? And if Jamie told you to say something, we're going to hit her later.
Any good sites?
that's the answer I had.
I wouldn't do that.
Yes, you would.
Like
Do you
websites?
already know any
Send your
good
answers.
sites?
Yeah.
Websites? I don't know. What websites? I think it's a trick question.
Good enough.
Sit down.
Thank you.
All right, up next,
Oh.
Ken. Yep. No, he's back there hiding. Okay. Hi, Ken.
Hello,
Tell us about yourself.
I'm Ken Hoover. I'm retired. Got more projects than I've ever accomplished.
Okay.
I'm interested in everything, it seems like. Just trying to figure out which way to go first.
Very cool. What brought you to FamiLab?
Came over with Tim, working on the dehydrator
Nice.
and Arduino. And now getting into Raspberry Pi and everything else.
Very cool. Oh, another question for Tim, or for Ken.
What kind of project are you working on? President tonight, Raspberry Pi. What are you going to do?
We just got
I've got
It's turned on.
So we're going for
Turn
that.
it on. I have bought an old RV and I want to make 60 cameras around it. Also, OBP2 gauges on it.
Nice.
About 1,000.
What are you retired from?
Worked for Kodak for many years. Started off in microfilm and copiers. Worked up to color copiers for Kodak. Went to Danka. Well, they bought Kodak. And then Tony from Nolta bought Danka, so I ended up working.
Nice. Any other questions for Mr. Ken?
Heinlein or Niven?
Do what?
Heinlein or Niven? Sorry, science fiction author.
Yeah.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Yes.
That'll work too. Which series? Oh, come on. All of them. And Ken, the last question is, do you know any good sites?
A bunch of. Yeah, that's YouTube is probably my best one.
Thank you.
Okay.
Almost. Moving on to Ross. Ross actually just came out for a tour today and is experiencing us for the first
Tall
time.
people. Have to aim up.
Don't be gentle.
How do I start?
Hi, I'm Ross.
I'm Ross.
Hi, Ross.
I'm going to Full Sail University. I'm from Sarasota, Florida. Yeah. Questions or?
What degree program?
What are you doing at Full Sail? Hardware, software?
I just started. It's digital art and design right now. I've thought about switching to like game art or something like that.
Sorry.
Wait, hold on. Pause this for a second. How many Full Sail instructors are in the room right now? How many Full Sail students? or former?
I'm noticing a trend. How many students become instructors?
See, when they run out of money, they come here.
Anyway, sorry. Just make a point of clarification. You can't say who you're talking to. Or it could be your instructors.
I had no idea. So that was noted game art, right?
Yeah.
I already decided.
Okay,
yes.
cool.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope none of you guys are game art guys. It's going to be the worst.
Well,
Sarasota, you live in Sarasota. Do you ever like run into a creepy guy buying questionable items at the grocery store?
I didn't. In my memory.
That's getting me.
That must mean you are there. Oh, Steve.
Yeah.
He lives like, I think he lives like 15 minutes from me or something, so not mine.
So what project, where do you want to start here? What kind of stuff do you want to do here?
I have no idea. I'm pretty clueless coming here, actually, now that I know what everyone else does. It's kind of funny because I'm used to being the one that knows the technology and stuff like that, so it seems like a great chance to learn from people who really know what they're doing.
Sorry, not
No, okay, I'm getting no's.
Okay.
How did you find out about us?
We make it up. YouTube works.
It was a meeting with my program director today, and he mentioned the FamiLab. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, is that one of those places with like 3D printers
We
and
know
stuff?
them.
He's like, yeah. So he gave me the directions. Eric Rosenfeld.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a great
You work with Arduino, Raspberry Pi.
I have before. I didn't get very far though. Larson scanner. I made it say hello world. On like a little screen.
Nice.
All right.
That sounds cool.
Okay. Produced processing.
Cereal.
Okay.
Have them start programming pics.
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Uh,
Yeah.
Okay. What series?
I have no idea.
Are you not a fan either? Okay.
I'm not like really into either. I think they're cool though. My dad's really into Star Trek.
Okay. Apparently. Apparently that's a bad thing.
Who's your
You know,
favorite
the
doctor?
Fibulab hazing is
Yeah,
sort of
Dr.
the
Who?
Fibulab equivalent of swallowing a live frog for
You have a
support.
fantasy
Except we record it and put it live on the internet.
Fantasy series.
Any fantasy series.
Metro 2033.
Okay.
Dmitry Glukovsky.
I like how we're getting more rare ones now.
Yeah.
Huh?
We're digging. We're just like,
We ran out of people.
Oh.
boy, that's
This question's again.
I knew that.
So other questions for Ross?
You plan on burning down the lab?
Who gave you a tour today?
Dave.
Dave.
The other Dave.
Where's the lie
Dave?
detector?
Hi, Dave.
Have any Dave?
Or I said, one down
Yeah.
I took that as her actually because I'm really bad with names, so I'm sorry if I forget yours.
We have lots of Daves, Mikes, and Johns, so you can try those.
Ross.
Did you get on Slack yet?
Sorry, what?
Get on Slack yet?
I think there's
Been here like 4 hours.
I was just wandering around and walked in here.
Cool. Cool.
Came in
We're
from
very
off the
glad to
street.
have you.
Is that
I'm glad you're here. One more question though. Do you know any good sites? You may have a seat. All right. August. Hiding. There he is. We have so many people in here. It's like, where is everyone? Hi.
Sorry for all the
August.
dizziness
So who
and the
doesn't know
people
August? It's okay if you don't know. You raise your hand. August
can't.
has been around for what, 3, 4 months now? 5 months? A year?
Can I?
So tell us a little bit about yourself and why you want to be a member of the lab and what you like doing.
Making everyone on the internet sick.
I've been coming to the like bio. So that's sort of has been something that's interested me for a long time.
He's on the screen too.
Interested in other things as well.
We should cast in the lobby.
I only cast a 1.
So what brought you to the lab in the first place? Like, how did you find out about us?
I just found out,
Nice.
So what do you do outside of here? What pays your bills?
that might be an issue right now.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. What do you think about that Indiegogo with what you breathe underwater with? Have you heard of it? It's pretty cool, right?
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. I backed it. I have like 10 on the way. All right. Just making sure.
Have you grown anything in the bio lab?
Have you grown anything?
Intended.
On purpose.
Yeah.
I guess we have done some.
I don't think he's on.
Nice. Some bacteria, mostly intended.
So I'm gonna go very broad here. Do you have a favorite sci-fi or fantasy TV series, novel, book, or short story collection?
But no music. We don't accept music.
There we go. Yeah, fair enough.
The question Star Trek versus Star Wars. probably a lot of person that's actually kind of not doing.
Fair enough.
Like stock up number 5 or something.
Yeah.
You don't want to do.
You caught the best of it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. And August, one last question for you, sir. Do you know any good sites?
For what?
Okay, thank you, sir. Zachary. Emma. Did you? Okay.
Yeah. Do it again?
Yes.
If you like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
You're
Dungeon Master.
good. I didn't know that you were not.
You want me to play it?
So I have a question for Gamma. When are you gonna host a D&D night?
Well, I was hoping to like get
Run out of time.
into the building first.
Well, we can make that happen. If you schedule a D&D night.
We made a Slack channel and one other person joined it other than me.
Where's that? What's that up?
What?
Pretty sure it's just
Invite
it's
everyone.
just a dungeon.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Oh.
Well, okay.
It's just dungeon.
Okay. That's why.
So, I didn't make it.
Yes, I'm not sure that that's what that was designed for.
Well, that may be for a different one.
So again, I will apologize to you. We had a board member quit very recently who had your paperwork, and that's why you're not on this list. But everyone will write Gamma's name on the back. We will count this. So yeah, we haven't contacted him since then. Yes.
Yeah, I do uppercase, but lowercase is like a question.
It is a question. The question is, what should we rename the Dungeon Channel to so people know what it is?
That's actually what I'm doing right now.
I thought that name was taken.
Or something, anything.
Anything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways any of those.
Okay.
Okay, so
I can.
am I missing anyone who has paperwork?
Tough dice.
You can rename it now. I give you permission. Like last
Okay. Are you introing? That's it. You voted on. No, I was. Oh,
We had paperwork error, so things
Yeah.
are kind of all over the place.
An administrative issue.
Was it
yeah. Okay.
Was it physics?
So we have 2 names for the back.
Yep.
Why
Why don't you introduce yourself real quick to everyone who didn't see last week?
We did this quick one. We don't really use the video.
So my name's Eric Wente. Let's see. Not sure what I should investigate.
Spell your last name.
Wente.
Okay, I gotta put my last
Take your date of birth.
Yeah, what's the last 4?
And your social security number. Anyway, I remember you interviewing last month. I remember really everyone. So I don't know how we missed a couple, but I apologize for that. Like I said, we did lose a board member, and we're in the transition process for secretary, so we're marginally unorganized at this
I'm
point.
working on it. Jeez.
Lance is good. Everyone trust Lance is good. If you don't trust Lance, trust Mike. Which Mike? That's a good question. Cool. Anyone else I'm missing? Bigger balance. Well, there's spots on the back. We're gonna have to write in 2 names, Gamma and Eric on the back. So everyone write in 2 names to get there. All right. So we will actually pass these out and not. Are you voting now, or do you want to wait for the end of the voting?
I don't care. We can do it now. What's Eric's last name?
Wente. It's in the.
Okay.
It's in the.
We have a. We have an Eric that was voted in that disappeared. Immediately after being voted in. That's why I was checking.
Were you're on there. So we're gonna pass out the ballots now. Take
Did you
one, pass it
disappear
around.
immediately after being voted in?
I don't remember getting voted on.
Yeah, but did you disappear? That's the important
I don't remember that. So do we need to put the 2 names that need to be registered?
Yeah.
Whiteboard.
I'll cast a page. Everyone gets to stare at me
Go
now.
ahead and we'll do the voting now, and then we will continue be the meeting. We actually are voting on 7.
My customer.
That way you can speak freely.
Cast this tab.
Oh, okay, cool. Only one?
There's not enough pins, but I figure the pins can migrate around as they go.
Yeah. I know we have a digital system.
Where's the names? They're not on board channel.
First. That's how that works.
Mike, I thought you said they were. Mike, in the board channel?
No, I posted on the agenda.
We just do poll.
Oh, I don't have that open.
No.
Hold on.
Well, you need to track who did what. So that
You can only vote once per user, but
From the guy over there.
yeah, why don't you do that? No, because we don't need ballots.
I didn't have that open, that's why.
Scaling problem. And then you need to change it for a second. You just change it.
My laptop is crying right now.
Yes. Mike, point of information, anybody whose name is on the ballot probably should not have one.
Yeah, and you probably.
If your name's on the ballot or you're being voted in, don't take one.
Also, leave the room.
Did you already write in the name? Mark Bob one?
But
It's just one of those.
you're voted on by the numbers, so if you're not, if you're voted on by definition, you're not a member.
I don't know the rest of Gamma's name, sorry.
Well, pretty much, yes, exactly.
Chad, pick one. Your pins, if you're done. Done. Drop them in this radio box.
Whatever. The fact that I don't know who they are means they're probably good people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, if you got pins too, drop them in here as well.
Right? Okay,
Yeah,
so
I need a pen.
Problem solved.
You can have a vote. Do I have a vote?
You feel like this is franchise?
Yeah.
Sir, any more?
Voter disenfranchisement.
All right. Okay. Can everyone follow back in if anyone left? Okay. I don't think anyone did. Okay. So I have an announcement to make. Auto-tune the lab. So the announcement is, if you were asked the question, question.
We're answering the question.
Forever and ever and ever.
That's as
You must
good,
keep
that's
it
as close as
until-
it gets to a secret handshake,
You
that's
must
it.
keep it
It's really
close to your heart.
It's like Fight Club.
It's exactly like Fight Club.
Except without the fighting.
Except for there's no fighting.
And all the soap.
There's like 4 people. There is power to it. You answer the question first.
There's power tools and doorknobs.
You join an elite rank of people.
It's true.
All right, so we're going to continue on. So we've got some cool things to go over here. So we had a board meeting on Sunday. What's that? What that was? Yeah.
It was hours that you lost.
And we will announce
You will never get back again.
we'll announce to we got let it in later. So, all right, going down. Area signs. So Katie and Nick have been going through and starting to making area signs. couple different areas. It shows who the point of contact is for the area. It shows maybe some basic information about the tool. If it's a 3D printer, maybe its IP address, that kind of thing, to help you use stuff more efficiently and not break it. We've had a problem recently with a lot of tools being more broken than not in the lab, and we are trying to curb that behavior by making sure everyone knows how to use the tools correctly, so that everyone can enjoy them. I think that's all I need to say now about that. So the membership process. So we've had some other complaints recently, both publicly and privately, that our membership process is too long, too complicated. And I think a lot of it is in the way people understand the delivery. If you're talking to somebody about open house, or an open house about how to join, become a Family Lab member, like, how do I become a member? We want to avoid words like waiting process and things like that. Essentially, what it is that anyone who comes in the front door of the lab during normal time when people are here can come and hang out and socialize and be a part and learn who we are and get to know us and that kind of stuff. And then after they've been coming for a little while, they're like, hey, maybe I should fill out some paperwork and maybe I should become a member. And then they fill out member paperwork and then they announce themselves in a meeting like some of you did tonight, and then the next month we officially vote on them. At no point are we restricting their access to the lab. We do ask that provisional members restrict their use of tools unless they're under very close supervision from an existing member. But other than that, it's essentially very simple. It's come and hang out in the lab, and then at some point show your formal interest in the lab, and then you get voted in. It's like 3 steps. Show up, show you're interested, get voted. It's like 3 steps. So it's not like a 30-step process and attending this, attending that, and giving it your firstborn son and a blood sample, and it's like
We don't want any of that.
It's bio might, but we don't.
We don't want your CRTs either. So if you have CRTs, give them all.
Can I have the flybacks of them? Just the flybacks. The rest of it.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, but yeah, it's a super simple process. It's 3 steps. Show up, be interested, get voted in. That's it. There's a paperwork step in the middle, but no big deal. And yes, there is technically a month between meetings. It's not a waiting period. It's just that's the time between our meetings. And the only reason why we have that, and it's cool to explain, it's like, well, why can't I get a member right now? Why can't I pay you $50 and get in the door right now? That's because, unlike a lot of other organizations, we don't have office hours. We don't have staff. So that means that when you enter the door and you get your key card, everyone who is here, or at least the majority of people, should be comfortable with it. Should know who you are, and shouldn't say, hey, that he's kind of creepy sometimes. It's sort of shady, He's been, blowing up, rockets out in the parking lot and burning stuff down, and he's hacking the government and things like that.
That's Lilith.
Oh, okay. Either way,
okay, you can
Mike.
call it something as long as we know you. That's great.
Just not burn down the lab. You can't do that one.
Don't burn the lab, because fundamentally, Family Lab is community.
It's a little different from a lot of other maker spaces where they might have multiple communities or use some of the model. But here, community is really what we're trying to foster more than anything else.
It's the fourth word in our mission statement.
The other pitch too is like, why would you pay us money if you don't need to?
The first month's free. You just don't get a key and you don't get a vote.
First month's free. So yeah, does anyone have any questions about how to tell people how to become a member of Family Lab? Because it's been relayed incorrectly, and I know for a fact that we have lost people coming to us because of it. Perfect. Are you terrified yet? Okay.
We'll fix that. We have more
Try
time.
harder.
Maybe you pretend to still got some stuff on.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's early.
That's true.
So yes, clarify the membership process, which is that. That's super easy. Fix the community message. What is that?
That was what you were talking about.
Okay.
Just making sure that we have the same message.
Okay. So
Left out.
whose idea was it for the class revenue bill?
Oh, that was mine.
That was who?
That was mine idea.
Oh, well, let's talk about it.
Damn it. So we recently we recently had a lot of stuff crowdfunded. I think the latest was 3D printer stuff. What we'd like to do is save the 3D printer crowd gets together and offers a 3D printing class or something related, and they make a profit at that class. A portion of the profit they can then spend on stuff for their group. So if DIY Bio did it, if film or photography did it, whatever. Percentages haven't been decided. We'll decide that probably when someone does it and we have to decide it. But
And so what's different about it now is that right now the way it is, if you teach a class at the lab and your class generates revenue, you have the option to take up to 50% of the revenue, not the revenue, but the profit of that, as payment for yourself. So if you charge $20 a head and if it costs only $5, $15 left, you take 50%. But you also have the option, like Lance is talking now, we're saying to donate that back to a specific program in the lab, whether it's machining or 3D printing or whatever.
Yeah.
So instead of going to you, it then goes back to that specific group worth of things rather than the general pot.
And it'll be more than 50% in that case. We just haven't cited that amount.
And that should also be encouragement to teach for-cost classes. I know we do a lot of classes for free because we love teaching people and people learning new things. But if we start even charging $5 a head for classes, that's money back into one of the areas of the lab in a different way. Any questions on that?
One idea. Get mad at ones that are not profit.
Yeah.
You still want to keep it free because maybe it might be your.
So maybe they'll give the person says, oh yeah, I got it.
There's already that stuff in Eventbrite.
We
So when
usually
you sign up for the class, even though it's free, there's a section at the bottom that says donate this much money.
We have to remember to add it.
On that is it creates a duplicate ticket. So when you buy a ticket and you buy a donation ticket, then sometimes that causes problems. But in our case, it's not really that much.
And we can always, when you run in class, just raise us straight up on the board, but send donations to Treasure at Familab via PayPal.
Yeah. If it makes a profit, doesn't really matter how it made it.
Cool. Everyone all right? Everyone good with that? So moving on, I'm actually going to move this around a little bit here. So some of you know we have lost 2 board members kind of recently. We lost David Sipes a little while ago, Pocky.
I forgot.
He took some time off to spend time with his family and stuff like that. And so he was replaced by Mr. David Smith. David Smith is our newest board member. He was appointed by the board. What we've done is we've shifted terms around. So if you remember, Mike Smith was voted on last annual meeting as a 1-year term to fill out the remaining of another term.
Mike Backfield.
I'm sorry.
We do have a Mike Smith.
I know we have so many Mikes.
And Mike.
Wait,
Mike
who am I pointing
Backfield
at?
was voted
There
on.
he is.
David Smith, Mike Backfield. We have multiple families of Smiths too. So
Not
Mike
all
Backfield
related?
voted on. We gave him the 1-year term because of some recent shifts. We have given him the 3-year term, and David is carrying out the 1-year term. Just so everyone knows and everyone's clear on that. We all voted on that, and that's what happened. So that still keeps the reason we did that is to keep the amount of people who get voted on each annual meeting at a reasonable clip instead of replacing 90% of the board in one meeting. We figured that was probably a better idea. So with that being said, we did have another board member resign. John Cope recently resigned from the board. He was also voted on when Mike Bacula was voted on. He was with us for a couple of months. He has also quit coming to the lab just due to school and stuff like that. We also still meet around at public events and everything, but his spot is now open as well on the board. So if you're interested in running for a board seat, it'll be an appointment seat, and it will be also a 1-year appointment until the next annual meeting. If you're interested, please let us know. If you want to know what it entails, let us know. We can talk to you. Yes. Okay. Cool. Hi. Carlos is interested too. He finally chimes in. He's like, "Oh, there's work to do."
I didn't know what the word is.
Well, you don't get to know that until you get voted on.
After you say yes, we'll tell you.
So yeah, send us an email. That way we can remember Bridges and Carlos board at Familab. That way we can kind of keep track of it. We You've got very busy plates, both personally, professionally, and with the board.
Yeah, I'm working right now, actually.
Yeah, Lance is actually working right now. He's clocking hours.
I got to make them up. But yeah.
So if you're interested, you can email us. So going down, let's see, guest and provisional. So it is kind of a topic of open discussion. Traditionally, the difference between a guest member and a provisional member. So a guest is somebody who comes with an existing member, on a regular day and hangs out, maybe does a little bit of work with them, whatever. That's a guest. Under your supervision, you're responsible for that person. As a provisional member, you've already done the introduction, you're in your period before the next vote, and you're at that point a provisional member. Now, traditionally, those members have been granted more free access to the tools and the equipment, the lab space. They still have to be here with another member to let them in and out of the door, but no singular member is directly responsible for them unless they're the only ones here, essentially. But I mean, does anyone have any input on that or any questions?
So I think part of this I brought up on the forums, but like we don't know. There's so many of us now. There's over 80 something members. I don't know everybody. You all probably don't all know me. It would be kind of nice if we had like a searchable directory to be like, oh yeah, this person is a member. They forgot their key. Let's let them in. Or that person's a provisional member. I should remember to sign the paperwork. Or hey, this is a guest that we just, they're interested in the lab, but they haven't done the paperwork yet. Maybe I should help them with that process or something. If we had a way to keep track of that and know who people were, I think it would be a lot easier to make that determination. Because we've had things where, like, you don't know if you're going to open the door because you don't know who it is.
100% second that.
Yeah. So something that some of us have been starting to try to do more often is everyone, as a member, should get your blue lanyard and a card for the door as an ID card. This is a really good way to know who's a member. Because we have 80-something, 90-something members, I mean, I probably know the names of half of you, and I feel that's pretty good. This guy back
it's
here,
Mike, David,
he's
or
a
John.
traitor. That's all I know right now.
Is that me or him?
The guy in the black shirt in the back. Yeah, I don't know. So that's a long story. So, but yeah, this is a great way, and these are free to all the members. I have black lanyards as well. Traditionally, we were reserving the black lanyards for non-members or like giveaways at shows and things like that. But if you really want a black lanyard, you can get one of those too. At least we would know that you've been here before and you're not just something free off the street. But I would like, and this is a pie in the sky dream, I know, for everyone to actually wear their lanyards while they're here. They're safe to use around the tools because they are all breakaway lanyards. They snap right off. So if you're using the lathe and you can flip it around or put it under your shirt or put it in your pocket or whatever, it'll break right away and it won't hurt you. So that way we know who everybody is, especially when we have big events like open house or if we have a video game night or we have something like that. Well, there might be 200 people here. It's nice to know who's who. So if somebody random walks up and says, I'm going to start using the laser cutter,
which happens more often than you think.
Yeah, that would be my dream, but I'm open for discussion on that.
Also, it's worth mentioning, it hasn't been set up yet because the obvious everyone donates here and nobody's paid to be here. But eventually, like the machine, like the laser cutter and the air condition out in the warehouse was designed to actually, it will be a system where you will have to badge in to use that equipment. So eventually, you'll need to have your badge on you at all times to be able to use the machine. So
if you don't have a badge, we're actually collecting. I've got 9 currently. I'm going to make tonight at last count. The badges with the pictures on them.
If you want a pretty one, Mike will make you a pretty one.
Yes, I'm going to sit down as soon as the meeting's done. If you have a headshot already, email it to me, Mike@FamLab.org. If you don't have one, I have my cell phone camera. We'll take one tonight. Or you can email me later. But if you email it to me later, I might forget.
You can also send an avatar or some other picture or whatever.
An avatar, artwork, whatever. It's going to be the same size as you see those. Okay.
that's called the Dave Casey.
That's very. So you will get a badge, and as we continue to progress, you might notice a couple of other doors have blank plates next to them. That's because those doors might eventually be locked as well for non-member access.
Yeah.
And that's, honestly, it's a safety and liability thing more than us trying to restrict who can use what. It's literally just so we can keep our insurance intact.
I'd say, sorry, the other scenario I've seen is as things start to wrap up at night, there's 4 people left, and you don't know if they're members or not and things. So this way you can leave and go, okay, I know it's all members and nothing I got to worry about.
The other thing was letting people in that you don't know if they're a member or not. Maybe they're not a member, but they're just coming on a regular basis to get to know everybody else. Is there any way we can give them a blank key card that just has their logo on it?
Yeah, we actually talked about that, doing like just a big logo card, or maybe one with like a sticker like this, right? Put like a bright orange stripe across it, some way to differentiate once you become a provisional member.
We talked about it for provisional. I didn't want to suggest it for guests, though. People that have not shown an interest in joining.
People who haven't introduced yet.
No, the ones that are coming here on a regular basis, and they're just hoping that when they show up at the door, there's somebody else here to let them in.
Right.
But whoever is here doesn't know that they've been here on a regular basis yet.
Yeah, I think so we'll do some kind of provisional type badge, and we'll and then when you're done being a provisional member, you'll turn that back over to us, and then we'll give you your real one. So that's ideally how it would go. Does anyone have a problem with wearing their badge essentially while they're here? And if you do, it's cool. We're trying to figure out a civilized way to make sure that everyone knows who everyone is, so everyone feels safe.
I mean, as long as you have it on you too, and you're not afraid someone's going to
Blade.
Yes, Raj.
If I screen print my badge on my shirt, is that okay?
You just have to wear the same shirt every day.
Yeah. Can you make sure to wash your shirt every other week? Yeah, I'll do that.
There you go. Well, in that case, speaking of NFC stuff, so all of our badges are NFC. If you have anything else that's NFC like a ring, a watch, magic band,
or your hand,
whatever you have, we can add it to the door system, and you can have multiple authentication methods. So if you've got anything else, we can add that as well.
Who do you talk to if you're interested in having it in your hand? Who's into that?
I think you're the closest connection at this point. Or maybe Chad Toad got it recently done. Sage, you got it done too.
No, I just know the person.
That's right. That's right.
To bring him with me for cross-training.
The thing is, you're sitting back like this.
Talk to Sage.
It's okay. No.
Talk to one of those 3 people.
The website is dangerous.
You don't want random people stepping in.
Well, it's a specific artist.
Hey guys.
Hold on, Shane has something to say.
So just to tag on the badging thing, I'm usually here on Saturdays. I'm usually here until Sunday. I'm right by the door. Okay. I know pretty much everyone here sort of in context, but out of context, I have no idea who you are. It's like you're a different person. So if I say, hey, can I help you or anything, don't be offended. Like
I guess I have something to add to the guesting.
Here you go.
When you let someone in the door that's not a member, or not, especially not a provisional member, as a guest, you're taking responsibility for them. You don't have to. Be nice,
That's why there's privacy film.
Figure out how we do this, but they're a guest. You're kind of volunteering your time if you're going to supervise them.
What I don't want to see happen is how some other spaces do it, and essentially have 0 guest access and 0 provisional access unless you're specifically like babysat by another member who literally has to sign them in while they're there as a guest. I mean, some members or some spaces actually charge guests for admission just to step foot on property, not to use any tools, just to breathe the air inside the building. That's protection.
It's expensive air.
So we don't want to go that way. We want to keep it very open for everyone, and we just want to be amenable. So again, if you don't have a badge, get one. Email me your picture, email me your name, email me your handle, or Facebook Messenger, or SD card, whatever. Get it to me. If you don't have a lanyard and you have a badge, I have a pile of lanyards with me tonight. If you want a lanyard anyway, give it to me. These, just so you guys know, these actually literally cost us $4 a piece. So when you lose them, everyone's $4. I have to do a minimum order of 200. So
we're selling them for 100 though.
30 left.
It'll be $100.
Yes, you can. So I don't want to just give you one after, I don't want to give somebody 10 of them. Just so
Unless
you
the
guys know.
black ones, you can sell those. That's fine.
You can sell the black ones, yeah. You already have one. You're wearing
I
one.
was thinking I have 9 of them, so I was like, test them in max.
No. So can everyone start trying to find their badges and wear them while they're here? Or at least have them somewhere nearby? Siraj is going to get his tattooed on his chest.
Why you open the door?
So anybody who doesn't have their badge owes everybody else the balls.
Yes.
It's not a challenge coin.
You'll do it. Just run it now.
Yeah.
What's up, Kyle?
It's gonna be a trip to Miami. Sounds like.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry, we won't deactivate it without telling you though.
Well, we might.
Wow.
Yeah, we will.
Okay. If you guys have other ideas about differentiation of members versus guests versus provisional versus slackers or whatever, just let us know. We're open for ideas. We're asking for your input on this because it's a challenging problem to solve, and we want to make sure that everyone is cool with whatever solution we come up with.
There's a Slack channel for that. It's not board.
Yes.
Yeah, we could leave like a bin of like bright yellow shirts by the door and just wear yellow shirts we don't ever wash.
Yeah.
That's what you have to wear if you don't bring your badge in.
We'll dip in the oil once a week.
Once upon a time, we had a bathroom. You don't want to go back to that.
Oh, the bathroom key. Oh, yeah. Nobody wanted to touch the bathroom key either.
I wouldn't want to.
So I guess like folks who are bringing in guests or folks who are bringing in, or if you are a provisional member, it's good to make it clear to that person that when the last person leaves, who's a member, they have to just like that expectation is set.
Yeah.
Yeah, guests you technically want to hand off to another member. Provisionals you don't need to. They just can't be here alone. That's all.
Yeah, they can walk around and do your own things. They can't
We
be
just
allowed.
don't want you to die. That's really
Yeah.
all we care about. Or to leave them.
You're welcome to outside.
Yeah, just get outside the door. And the parking lot's not ours. Not ours.
All right. So the next topic is an interesting topic. We have addressed parts of it at different times. We need to talk about the overall behavior of lab members at the lab. We've become so big that a lot of members think that I don't have to take out the trash because someone else takes out the trash. I don't have to vacuum the carpets because someone else will vacuum the carpets. I don't have to wipe down the counters because somebody else will get to it. I don't have to clean up my mess because somebody else will get to it. I don't have to clean up my workspace because somebody else is going to be working right behind me and just mess it up. Well, that kind of goes against one of our main tenets, and that's be excellent to each other. And when you come into a space, and I've done this multiple times in the past couple of weeks, especially coming in on a Saturday or something, the floors are disgustingly filthy. I mean, there's stuff everywhere. It takes 10 minutes to run a vacuum across the carpets. The counters are disgusting. There's dishes piled in the sink. There's stuff everywhere. And recently, a couple weeks ago, I was cleaning up actually before Jamie was about to bring someone for interns in. And on the counter, I found a bag that had 3 condoms in it. One of them had been opened, and there was no condom to be found. So that's not acceptable. I don't know who. It's not cool. Don't do that here. For the love of God, don't. We Lysoled all the couches, all the surfaces, all of the seat handles, all the doorknobs, all the toilet bowls. We took care of everything. So don't do that. It's disgusting. You have a house for that.
Or a car or whatever, but not here.
Huh?
Or a car or whatever, but not here. It's not here.
We like to think of that as a get a room rule.
Yeah.
There's a really shitty motel just down the street. They probably have hourly rates. I don't.
You can get leftover discounts.
Huh?
I'm not going to suggest that didn't happen, although this is a lab. Somebody could have been doing a condom experiment.
It's possible.
It's entirely possible. Still,
Yeah.
if a guest, if a guest were to have come into the lab and said, "Why are there empty condoms on the table?" Would you want to come back to the lab?
No, I
So-
understand. I'm just trying to hope.
Trying to rationalize.
Yeah.
They still should have cleaned up.
I know. So,
Either way, don't leave them out.
Yeah, and that's why we're leaving it where it is.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
When you
that's-
do that, don't be caught.
We do have kids that come here. I mean, there's lots of.
No,
Yeah.
Don't do
We
it.
had classes with children in the laptop bar on Sunday. Yeah. And like we had, and when I cleaned up the same day that I cleaned the personal items, that was also after the ramen noodle incident. Someone decided to make some ramen noodles in a coffee cup. It exploded all over the microwave. There was ramen noodles all over the floor. The empty cup that ramen noodles were cooked in was left sitting on the counter with sticky, along with another 4 soda things that were just empty and warm, so they weren't like recent. And someone, myself, had to go and scrub that dirty, sticky ramen coffee cup, vacuum the floors, mop the floors, and Nick clean the microwave.
Yeah.
New microwave.
Damn it.
So remember, it's not just your space, it's our space. If that's how you live at home, live that way at home. And that's cool. Don't live that way here. Yes, we want to have a clean, inviting space for everyone to come and work in. We don't want to have roaches. We don't want to have spiders. We don't want to have ants everywhere.
If you want answers, that's how you
Which, if you want to know how much it costs to have someone clean this lab twice a month, it's too much.
No, it's not even clean the lab. It's take the garbage out
Yeah,
and
it is too much
Yeah,
money,
it was-
and it would take 3 memberships to make that up at least. So we can't afford to stay dirty.
No, remember, we only get $10 on top of each member
Yeah.
over cost.
Yeah,
So
we
if
really
it's
can't.
$150, that would be 15 members.
We really can't afford to hire a cleaning service or have anyone come in and do anything.
Yeah.
That's just not happening.
We did look.
It's simple. If you come into the lab, every trash can is full, the floors aren't vacuumed, and the dishes aren't done, it might take you 30 or 45 minutes to do everything if you are slow.
And you're by yourself.
And you're by yourself.
But, you
But
shouldn't
I've
be.
never been here when
Yeah.
anyone else hasn't been, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll help you clean up. No, just literally it takes no time at all. So just please clean up. I've done it too much myself. Rick came in here and carpet cleaned the lab on his
Oh,
day
yeah.
off, and the floors are already disgusting again because people have dumped shit on the floor and things like that. Come on, just clean up after yourself.
Just.
That was me. I mopped the floors, and then as I was moving the mop bucket back, I dumped half the mop bucket water onto the carpet. But Rick cleaned that up for me. I was trying to do something nice and ended up screwing up. So does anyone have any questions on being excellent to each other? Okay. Be excellent. Don't do stupid stuff. In addition to that, and because of the recent activity of broken things and other acts, we are going to install surveillance cameras for the purpose of surveillance in the lab. We had them before. We removed them for a number of reasons. We are adding them back. They will be, as far as I know, in every room. They will only be accessible by a select few on the board, and they will only be able to be reviewed, not like actively watched. So nobody can sit there and watch you like a fishbowl or something like that. It's literally just so when an incident happens, if somebody were to get hurt, if somebody were to go missing, if a tool were to be seriously damaged, again, we're never going to come after you if you break a tool and say, it broke while I was using it, and we're not going to make you pay for it. We just need to know that it broke and why it broke. Or did you get
It's
hurt?
9 o'clock.
It's 9 o'clock.
I have a meeting right now.
Even if what you did was a stupid thing and broke it almost intentionally, let us know so that we can figure out why, fix the training issue, fix whatever issue it is.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, was that a decision made by the board, or is that something that we should all come to a conclusion on? Because I'm against that. I hate that. I think that's completely disgusting that I should have a camera watching me. I used to be a member of Melbourne Makerspace. They had cameras. They said only the board members there were watching. You could get into that IP. We have people here really smart who can get into the IPs. People are going to be watching that. Don't want that.
Well, this one's not gonna. This one's not gonna be hooked up to any outside connection. It's gonna.
I mean,
I cannot put it in the network.
But I should have access to it too. I don't think somebody, just because you're on the board, you should or
So
shouldn't
that
have
was the
access.
problem last time. And honestly, this is a solution to a number of problems. The camera system we had last time was accessible to everyone, basically. And that was the issue. Because people would literally watch people's screens. They would watch people doing stuff. And you know, it's embarrassing to watch yourself on the camera. This is different in that we've had reasons to do this. That's why it's being implemented. And I don't think it's a group decision anymore because it's too dangerous not to.
We also already have surveillance cameras.
Yeah, we do.
I know like, I think I'm staying in the parking lot and stuff, but like if I'm sitting here on the computer and stuff, to have the camera be recording me, I don't feel comfortable with that.
Privacy screen.
You won't be able to for the surveillance.
I don't mean my computers. I mean looking at me myself. I mean it's.
But what's the alternative?
To have a community come together and vote together on that. I don't think that's a decision
But
that should be made against for everybody by just the board.
What's the alternative to solve it?
If we're not going to have some way where we can pull a tape to find out what happened, if there's an emergency or an accident, what else can we do?
Hey, let's say we vote no. If we all decide we vote no, what would we do? Because I know, I'm kind of with you. I completely understand your point. Because I didn't like when it was fishbowl either, and people be able to watch what I was doing or be here, and it was weird. It was super awkward. But
I feel more comfortable if like the entire community or like participating community voted on it and agreed with the board's decision. Would you just feel more comfortable?
Yeah,
with the
that
decision the same?
and maybe voting on what areas we're putting cameras. Maybe cameras in front of the machinery, camera in the fab lab, camera in the bio lab, things like that. But a camera in here, a camera in the room where people are sitting and eating and watching TV and
Could
things
I
like that.
chime in? I think part of the problem also is really who reviews it and when. Just the fact that to go with Nate's point, it's really I don't have any problem with the cameras in principle, but the problem may be just like if you have somebody who has access to the cam. I don't know, it's just like going with Nate's point, it's just like nobody really voted on it, and just like the fact that there could be like people that you don't know looking at the footage at like any point, or like there's only like a select few.
Somebody's going to be reviewing for that. Make it publicly accessible. Who has access to the camera? When does the camera footage get looked at? Who looks at it? It has to be
In general, how do they have the camera should never be looked at if there's no issue.
Or even if it makes it more comfortable, it could be like 2 board members and 1 regular member.
Understood.
They have to agree, and then they access the camera footage.
Now going to David's point, it's just like when does the footage like you only look at the footage if there's an issue, but what constitutes an issue? I think that's
so. Here's what I
access to it.
So
that's why you have to have the agreement. But yes, of course, you post it like something happened. This must be fixed. And in addition to that, you have 3 members who say this is an extenuating circumstance. We have to look at the camera footage.
So I have a couple things.
We're not.
What?
Nope, go ahead. We're not casting anymore. That's fine.
A couple of things. So I don't have a problem if we wanted to bring it to a vote either now or at the next member meeting. But just as a point, you all did actually elect the current board to serve you in the way that we do, and certain decisions we make on behalf of the organization, not on behalf of the individual. I'm not saying that what we say is always right. It's definitely not. Sometimes we make mistakes just like everyone else. But if we want to bring it to a vote, we can do that now. And we can even do a show of hands if you want. I mean, I don't know what you guys are comfortable with, the ones who are against or for, but feel free to chime in whatever you want.
Should we give it a month and let people chat about it? One for it,
I think that we've done that before.
Is it cameras everywhere, or is it cameras in front of the machinery? That's my point.
It would be everywhere.
It would have to be everywhere. Yeah. Because incidents can happen anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, what's going to happen in here that you would need a video camera?
We have
recording?
kids here.
Soldering
We have.
Exacto
I mean,
knives.
you can come up with a scenario. I can make something up.
I mean, I'm not trying to fight it against it. It's just it's just uncomfortable to me personally because and when you're reviewing it, how far back are those people going to be to go to review it? It's like, well,
I look at
creepy.
it as the intent is not for them to be surveillance cameras. The intent is for them to be security cameras, to have someone who's responsible.
Yeah, and typically the systems like you would see would have no more than 30 days of storage on them.
So it'd be less than 30 days.
It's what fits on the disc, and
Yeah.
more cameras there are, the less it's going to fit.
Yeah, especially with a lot of the events coming up, we've got a lot of outside entities coming in to do events here. We've got the biohacking outside group. We have the Google I/O coming up. We have the Codecraft people which we're working with, and a lot of times those are outside members who come in and use tools in our space. And if one of them gets seriously hurt, or if they, God forbid, if a child gets touched by an adult member,
it's our liability.
Right now, if that happened in our space and somebody said anything, none of us would be here the next day. Like, it would literally take one lawsuit and it would be completely gone. And if we don't have cameras to back up that says John never was even in the same room as this kid, then we, it's essentially his word against ours, and the court always decides.
This is my argument.
Yeah. And I'm not saying even as children, even adults.
I guess my biggest thing is a vote on. I agree. I can agree with the cameras, but a vote on who are the people that actually get to review this.
As far as like the transparency and how it's used, and
So-
basically,
Why?
and I don't have a problem with the cameras. Just
So maybe
know
what
it.
we need
Yeah.
to do is an RFC on the review policy, and then everybody can, because there's probably people who aren't here that might be interested in that too. And then we can bring it up at the next meeting.
Not just the incident review, but also the data retention policy. Set some standards for future boards.
Right, so it goes away.
Your thoughts.
Maybe there could be a
reasons, or
discussion on like when this supposed incident happens, that is the only time that it's ever accessed. And
That's
there'd
so
be a
fun.
consensus made on
So it sounds like it's all
this incident is
details.
worthy of-
yeah, so it comes down to the
And
details.
that's like,
Is there a
that's
statute?
fine.
We need a real policy incident, like if there's only so much of that data saved and like,
I mean,
in a
typically,
court of law, like it could be reported that this happened like far longer than we had data than what's the point.
Also,
honestly, it's within a week usually that we know. Usually it's like a couple days. Hey, who just completely destroyed the Ultimate? Why is it in 30 pieces?
I'm not talking about like equipment, I'm talking about like the specific, very serious
Yeah.
incident of like relations
Gotcha.
between outside parties and like people in the lab.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
a
also-
balance we have to figure out.
Because
I think
we can't store it long term.
I think a part of this also comes down to if it's.
For commercial spaces, it's 30 days.
I think part of this also comes down to, like, if there's somebody reviewing the footage who's also somebody who's, like, being accused of something, but you have, like, somebody who you don't know who's reviewing the footage, and you accuse them of something, and they have access to delete that footage, and you don't know that person is reviewing it. So that's why I'm saying we should have a policy so you know.
In that case, you would assume if they're deleting the footage, then that would be money.
I understand that. I'm just saying in
But,
general,
I mean, that
just
would be automatic.
doctoring.
At this point, I'd like to move this to the non-board channel in Slack and on the forums, and ultimately this will get decided at a board meeting, not at a membership meeting. Sorry.
And if you have questions about this, we have had this discussion a couple years ago. And that was when things were getting broken, things were getting stolen, and everybody pitched a fit and we stopped having cameras, and all of a sudden we started having issues again. So if you want to look at that thread, just search on the forums for cameras. There's like, that thread is like several months old. So if you have arguments, they've probably already been pitched. This board has been through that, and they know all about those, reasons to justify not having cameras and fish bowling and all that. They're actually some of the people who said they didn't want cameras. So remember that when you're having this discussion, that they know that, they feel the same way, but stuff keeps happening and it's escalating and getting worse.
If you feel super strong and you want to be part of that decision, our next board meeting is currently scheduled after our next membership meeting.
Yeah, all of our board meetings are always open to all of our members. We generally ask that you kind of let us conduct our business. If you do have something that you really need to add, we can do that. But most of the time, we've got a long agenda list as it is. I think our meeting was almost 3 hours last Sunday.
Three or more.
Remember, you're sitting through an hour and a half meeting here. Usually on every other Tuesday, we're meeting before that for 3 hours plus, talking about things like this in depth. None of it we ever make are very rash decisions. We talk about everything in depth. And if you've ever been to one, it's like watching paint dry or watching the Titanic sink for 2 hours and 41 minutes. If you did that, raise your hand. So, you're always welcome to come out. But so move the camera discussion back to the forums and do not board channel. If anyone opposes, does anyone oppose to us starting the infrastructure to get the cameras in. That's going to take us like a month before we even get the cameras put up. Is anyone opposed to us literally just putting the infrastructure in place, no cameras, no DVRs, putting the wires in place? Anyone oppose that?
We also deliver policy at the same time before the cameras turn on.
Before they turn on,
Oh, yeah.
we'll have policy.
It's because we're all working so much, we need time to do it. And if we wait another month, we'll be another month, we'll be another month. Yeah, so we just want to kind of get a jump on that as soon as possible. So no one's opposed to running infrastructure for cameras? Okay. All right. So, cameras, that was the big discussion item. So, unless anyone has any other actual official stuff which needs to go in the minutes, does anyone have anything official that needs to go in the minutes? Okay.
Can I officially support hours on Sunday and wrestling through all this? Because it's still a lot of pushback, but like you guys have done a lot of work.
Thank you. If you're interested in looking at our meeting minutes, they're generally published right after.
I've been slacking. They'll go up this week.
Yeah, they'll go up this week. Again, we've been short 2 members, 2 board members, so we're sharing the load. So the meeting minutes will go up this week, and you can review everything we talked about, everything we discussed in depth. If you have any questions, you're always free to ask us. We try to be very open and transparent as we can. But the reason why we can't have a 4.5-hour meeting every Tuesday night is because nobody would ever show up.
I also suck as secretary and don't record super detailed minutes. Sorry.
So ask us if you have questions. So since we just got through the doom and gloom and dread and stuff, so how about a show and tell session? Does anyone have things to tell or show? Hi, Matt.
I just had one really good article from Raspberry Pi World that made me happy. For those of you who never got a Raspberry Pi Zero, they stopped production on them to make all the Raspberry Pi 3s. There was just an article out like last week that said they got up to a certain load of 3s, and now they're going to knock out a ton, like millions of zeros. And then the 3s are going to come. They're going to start delivering in numbers. That's the supply is going to open up. So that's just good news.
It's a book of the zeros going to have some feature.
Yeah. Right. Oh, really? They have
Can you do the camera?
It's going to land on a barge.
I have a work meeting this weekend right now. Yeah, you can have my laptop. I just have to do the meeting.
Very awesome. Just well.
So we made Kazanki eggs again last weekend. Jamie taught us a class. Other Jamie was also there, Sage. We made really cool, like, decorative eggs in the Polish style. It was really cool. If you want to see a picture, I've got one on my Instagram. It's Willis Say What. But it was really cool and a lot of fun. So if you want to do that, a lot of us have kits with spare wax and stuff. We can show you how to do it.
So we won one of the 3 grants that we had submitted for Burning Man.
Woo!
The challenge is that the majority of the materials that we rely on in order to construct this piece were cited as upcycled, reused, and repurposed materials. So that means like we're going to have to recover and find a lot of stuff. So like the objects that we're looking for are kind of unique and not something that I think many members would typically want to use for themselves, which are like doors and windows and miscellaneous like wooden bowls and cups and things. So if you happen to come across like a door on the side of the road or like a window that's been taken out and you have room in your car and you don't mind like grabbing it for us, that would be excellent.
Do you have a Slack channel where you can post what you need and post when people find things?
I believe it's burning_man, is that it? Yeah, so burning_man is our Slack channel. If you want to hop on there and let us know, that'd be amazing. Essentially, we're building like an enormous table and like we're kind of like recreating like the experience of the Last Supper. But anyway, so there's that. So yeah, it was a show and tell and ask. So thanks in advance.
Congratulations. Tough thing to get, so that's really good.
I'm just excited. I'm contractually obligated to go to Burning Man.
I hung up Hijinks. She just got voted in the other month when she wasn't here. It's my girlfriend Jeannie. Hung up a couple of pieces of our art from the wood that I think is really showing off what can be done with wood.
And someone was asking about that in the Slack channel. Like, who was doing all the cool wood art?
Yeah, that's
yeah.
Who was that? We're gonna start selling. So we're starting to make our multiples of those. Just ask me about it on Slack or Slack at Hijinks or at Nerdbox. Second thing for show and tell is I was successfully able to hack the kernel for the chip, which is the $9 computer. So now able to do reflashing, unbrick them, and write custom kernel code and do things like that for it. So it's really usable now. And eventually, me and him will have a blog post. It's gonna help be my technical writer. Have some details.
Yeah, to write off that, if you guys are working on any projects, any at all, even if you don't want to go into a bunch of details, just get some basic notes, take pictures of whatever you're currently doing in the process of doing. You're all comfortable writing the blog post yourself, at least let me know, and I'll work with you to try to put something together so that we can at least share that and put that out so people can see what we're actually doing. And you can easily get hold of me on Slack at any point if you want to actually just write the post yourself and you want to kind of look over it. But I'm here for that purpose as well. So.
I don't have a show and tell, so much as a call for show and tell. I've been accepted at MetroCon. If you're on the cosplay board, you already know about this. I've been accepted at MetroCon to present 2 panels, one on electronics for props and cosplay, and another one on 3D printing for props and cosplay. So if you do anything cool with either of those 2 things, please let me know so I can showcase them at my panel.
When is that?
MetroCon's in the end of July.
Kind of on the same thread, I'm going to be at a booth at Anime Experience this weekend, so if you're there, stop by and
Yay.
And tell and show, we actually got some pretty good starts on our glowing mushroom mycelium. This is a naturally glowing mushroom, not a genetically. If you're interested in seeing it, it takes about 5 minutes for your eyes to adjust to the dark to see it. So if you want to see it, stand around in the dark for 1 minute.
Working on a wheelchair for kids. Final stage. The lady that made the donation wants to call the news and have them in, so I don't really know how to do that.
Can I, for the love of God, help you?
Yeah, that would be awesome. So we're hoping for either this Thursday and Friday or Thursday and Friday.
And just coordinate through the board for being the mediator.
Also, if you need some materials, webbing or whatever, let me know because I have tons.
You have 20,000-pound test webbing.
Yeah. If the cat's a very big cat, I can make a harness for it.
Giant.
We can make something.
I got you.
All right, it sounds like the kitten issue solved.
Oh, thank goodness. I've never been so happy in my life.
Tim, didn't you say there was more beef jerky coming tonight?
Yes, I do have some beef jerky here. But I was. Does anybody here know anything about hackup plans? Hazard analysis, critical control points, plans. Nope. Okay.
Is there something wrong with the beef jerky?
There's nothing wrong with the beef jerky. There's something wrong with my plan.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. I just need help getting my plan put together and polished. And then once the plan is done, then I have to write the SOPs.
Oh boy.
And I am not good at writing. I mean, technical writing, no.
She probably has had to go through some of this stuff for
okay.
So she knows how to write.
Okay, the chocolate lady.
Yeah, chocolate lady.
Yes, yes.
If you need editing or just like secretary wise, I have technical writing background.
The Catherine knows. Catherine, it's after chocolates.
But yes, I do have a limited supply of jerky with me, and I've got some for Siraj with that machine as well.
If you haven't had it, I'm very sorry, but you probably won't get any tonight.
I do not have any samples. It's all vacuum sealed. So.
What flavors do you have?
I have Hawaiian, Simply Sweets. I have 2 bags of original. I have black pepper, Spice Just Right, Holy Hot, and Meet the Reaper. Mixed.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
Is that Carolina Reaper?
Yes, it is.
Carolina Reaper peppers.
All right. So unless anything else, you're always free to be free.
Sorry,
Sage.
one last thing. A semi-impromptu Burning Man meeting afterwards, if you want to like join the project. We're looking to kind of invite more people along if they're interested in going and developing a theme camp alongside of our art support camp. So it's artistic, but it's a different form, and Burning Man. So there's that after this if anyone wants to come and hang out and find out more. So thank you.
One last thing, I want to reiterate, there is a board meeting directly after next month's meeting. So if you're interested, have issues, want to join in on the conversation, directly after next month's meeting.
Thank you all very, very much. Have fun. Go make some cool things.
I'm